Hi, Cardinals. This is your book of the week. Your book of the week is The Spelling Bee. Okay, and here is your cover page. So the first thing we need to think of, what is a spelling bee? Okay, now we see the word bee here, which is the same thing as a bee that flies into flowers and pollinates the flowers. But that's not what this bee is. Okay, this is a different kind of bee. A spelling bee is a kind of spelling contest. So for example, if I had myself and another student, and we both had to spell the word have, then we both would spell the word, and we would see who spelled the word the right way. The person that spelled the word the right way would get 1 point. Okay, so that is a spelling bee. It's like a spelling contest. So a spelling bee and a spelling contest are synonyms. They're the same thing. Okay, so the spelling bee. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the next page. And look here, we have the spelling bee, our title again. We have our author down here. We have another second cover page that's going to tell us more information about the book. And we have our focus question. Remember that our focus question is really important. It's the question that we should be thinking about while we are reading. So if we forget our focus question when we are reading, we can always go back to this page and look again. So our focus question is, what is the lesson of the story? What is the lesson of this story? So what did we learn from this story? Now usually when we're talking about a lesson from a story, there's probably a problem in the story, a problem in the plot of the story. So we have to think of what happened in the story, what problem happened in the story, for there to be a lesson that we learned. So I'm thinking that this story is going to be a fiction story, but I'm not sure. We have to read first. Let's read, and then let's try to figure that out. So the next thing we have is we have our words to know. So these are the words that are very important to the story, to us to understand the story. There are vocabulary words. So we have the word apology. We have the word caterpillar, which we've seen a couple of times. We have the word fail. We have the word nervous. We have the word spelling bee, which I just talked about. And we have the word win. So what we could do is we could go in the back to our glossary, okay? And we can look up the meaning of all of these words. So an apology is a noun, and it says that an apology is an expression of regret for making a mistake or action that hurts someone. So for example, if I hurt someone's feelings, I could tell them an apology. I could apologize for what I did to them. So the noun would be apology. Make an apology. But the verb would be to apologize. So make sure that you know that there's the difference between those two. The next word is caterpillar. We've seen this a couple of times, okay? And caterpillar is the larva of a butterfly or a moth. The next word is fail, which is a verb. We know that because of the V. And that means to not succeed at something. So if I said I failed a math test, that means that I did not succeed at the math test. I did not pass the math test. The next word is nervous. And remember that nervous is an adjective. It's an adjective because it describes a noun. So let's take a look here. We have the word nervous, and it means the same thing as edgy or tense. So those would be synonyms for the word nervous. Okay, so I feel nervous about the spelling test. I feel tense about the spelling test. I feel edgy about the spelling test. It's the same thing. The next word is spelling bee, like we talked about before. And that means a competition in which people spell words. So we don't have spelling bees in our room, but some classes have spelling bees, which is a noun. The next word is win, which can be a verb and it can be a noun. So it meant to earn victory in a game, contest, or other competition. Okay? So that is what we're looking at. So remember, if we wanted to see this word in action, we would turn to page 3. Let's do that right now. And actually, they made a mistake because this is a verb here. It is not a noun. But we would read the sentence. Jasmine was sure she was going to win the class spelling bee. So this is the sentence here. And there is our word to know in action. It's actually our verb in action. And spelling bee is another of our vocabulary words. And it's the noun that's right there in bold letters. Okay? So we're going to read our book. Okay? Make sure that when you're reading your book that you are reading in a clear voice, that you are reading at a low voice, that we don't disturb the other people in the room, and that you are following along with your fingers when you are reading, okay? When you are finished, this is your assignment for the day. You are going to write me a letter. Remember we talked about writing letters last week, okay? So we're writing a letter, and this is the writing assignment, and it says, pretend that you are Jasmine. So I'm thinking that Jasmine is a character from the book. Okay, write an apology letter. So write a letter apologizing to Finn. Include why you are sorry and how you will try not to hurt other people's feelings in the future. So you're going to use this and you're going to write an apology letter. And you're going to pretend that you are Jasmine. Jasmine, right here, is the character in the story. And you are going to write an apology letter to Finn. Finn is another character in the story. So, when you're writing your letter, do not forget to include the date. Remember that we can abbreviate the date. So, instead of putting October, we could write Oct and put a period. And the day today, which is the 22nd. And then we could put our ND at the top for 22nd, okay? And then our comma and the year, which is 2018. I had to put it a little bit small because I didn't have enough room. So you would put this at the very top right here. And then you're going to put the name of the person that you are writing your letter to. You're going to write your apology letter, and then the name of the character that wrote this letter. So remember, you are pretending that you are Jasmine. You are a different person. You are a character from the book writing this letter to Finn. So your letter should start out, Dear who? Dear Finn, okay? From your friend, Jasmine. Remember, if you need any help, you can always go back in the book. You can always look at your glossary to understand the words to know. You can look at the other posters in the room to help you. You can ask another cardinal, or you can ask me for help. Okay? Make sure that you are reading the book before you start this activity and that you are following along with your fingers. Okay? Good luck. Have fun.